I think maybe the way of the victory, yes. But I think it's quite logic that Liège is still a step above this victory. But maybe the way of the victory, yes. So I think it was a perfect day, a perfect race from all of us, from the team. I had great support the whole day. I think I was dropped off on every climb on the best possible way by the guys. Yannick Steinman did a great job controlling the race from the start. Then Peter Serri was really impressive on Jaiskibel, dropping 2 of the best climbers in the world. And then, yeah, I think his effort was meant to be until the bottom of Air Lights, and from there on Knox took over, but then 2 guys of VF put like a real attack from the bottom, and then I looked behind me and I saw that it was completely exploded. So then I decided to give it an extra push, and I saw that only Yates was in my wheel. So first I thought, okay, let's go with 2 guys to the final, and I kept pushing. But then he dropped as well, and I think from there on it was like an all-out effort till the finish line. And then having a 1-minute gap was, let's say, quite good, and a good thing going to the descent and the plateau towards San Sebastian. And then when Fitte said on the top of the last climb that I had 2 minutes, then I knew, okay, now I can take it quite slow in the descent, because it was still wet, so it was quite tricky to take too many risks. But yeah, I think the legs were perfect today. The teamwork was perfect today. As I said before, I felt really fresh coming into this race, and that's what I think I could show on the bike.
Is this the new cycling? I mean, training, doing not that much races, but if you go to a race, then you go full?
Yo estoy de traductora para cada pregunta. Tú preguntas, yo traduzco. John. ¿Está respondiendo a él? He wants the translation of this answer, and I tell him that he asked, and I translate his answer. Okay?
So I can answer?
Yes.
I don't know. I think going into a Grand Tour, for sure, you need to be fresh. Going fresh into a one-day race is always a risk. But I mean, I think I'm fresh talking about race days, but not in training hours. I mean, as I said a few days ago, or yesterday, I've been training 2 weeks with 30 hours and more, and then I had 1 recovery week, so it's not that I'm really fresh. I mean, the last days in Livigno I felt quite tired, so it's not that I'm fresh body-wise, but race-wise, and like you said, in the head, it's maybe a new way of preparation going into big goals. But looking into my full season, I'm already at 45 race days or something, so that's quite a lot. But I think after the Vuelta and hopefully the Worlds, I will be around 70 race days, which is quite a lot for a full season. So that's the reason why why I wanted to skip Burgos, and I think I have good reasons for that. But for sure, the next few weeks will not be a holiday. It will still be a lot of hard training. Yes, in Spain. I think in the altitude camp, in the altitude hotel of Kolobnev again. So I can also do a recon of the time trial again, which is quite close. So yeah, let's say that now I'm gonna sleep high but train on sea level, which is maybe the best way to get into the Vuelta. And also I can train a bit more on intensity like that. So it's gonna be a 2-week camp with a lot of training. But then the last week will be again a recovery week, going to Holland for the team time trial and the 2 sprint stages, hopefully. So I think it's a bit of the same preparation coming into this race, going towards the Vuelta. So yeah, let's say that my body will not be really fresh, but the head will be fresh.
Does this victory change anything in your expectations about Vuelta?
Well, for sure, this was a one-day race, so the Vuelta is 3 weeks, so it's always different going into a one-day race than going into 3 weeks. But for sure, I think what we could show today is that we have a strong team. The team is ready. I felt strong. I was really good today. So if everything goes well the next 2 weeks, I think I should be in the Vuelta with even a bit better shape. So let's hope that I can still improve some percentages towards the Vuelta. And then you need to be lucky. You need to stay out of trouble for the first, let's say, 10 days. And then the fatigue will start, and then it's all about the legs. So let's say that the expectations are not changing. Yeah, I think the biggest goal is to, for sure, win a stage in the Vuelta. And then talking about GC, we will see. I mean, if I can end up in the top 10, that would be amazing. And everything that is above that will be even more, even better. So, like I said, top 10 and a stage win, that would be a dream.
On the top of the Murgil, you put your tongue out your mouth. I think you would say it was heavy, but it doesn't seem heavy. What did the design of the tongue? Was the reason for that?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've done the Murgil full gas after a 30k time trial already, so it was a bit of I'm done, you know. The efforts are done. Then it was a 5k descent, and then 3k next to the coast. So it was more a reaction of, okay, it's done. Also, when Fitte said you have 2 minutes 30 now, then I knew it was done. So yeah, for sure it's heavy. I mean, doing a full gas climb on Erleits and then a full gas 2k super steep climb on Murgil. I think I could only be happy when it was over.
Why did you go full gas on the Murgil? Because actually the victory was already done at the beginning of the Murgil for us and maybe for you too.
Yeah, but you know, they said I had 1 minute on the bottom, so I know the year I won I had 35 seconds or something, so the thing was I just wanted to go full until the top and then see what my advantage was. But actually, it's like you said, it was a men against men mission. So, and I think there were 2 behind me, and then behind the second group, it was like 3 or 4 guys. So it was actually a complete different scenario than 3 years ago. But yeah, I mean, if you have the legs, why shouldn't you go full gas? I mean, it's a race that you want to win, and if you're in the situation to win, then you just go all out for it.
Before the race, you had some questions for you, and you didn't ask my shape after more than 1 month without racing. Is it true that you're not on your top already right now? That you have progression left?
Yeah, I think that's difficult to answer, but for sure I will train hard to get up a bit in shape. Some small percentages would be perfect. But if I'm on my top now and I just can stay on this level for 4 more weeks, that would also be good. So let's hope that I can still improve a bit, and then yeah, I think we'll see this in the Vuelta if I would have improved the next few weeks or not. But for sure, if you only train long base trainings, then there is still some march for improvement by training intensity. So yeah, I hope I can still improve.
In Norway, you did an amazing effort on the climb also, about watt per kilo, and the websites talk about. Can you say something about today, about you have seen your wattage meter after the race immediately? Do you see something, oh, this is a nice effort, this is a new record for me or something?
Well, I think on Murgil I will probably have done a record, but yeah. You'll probably see the numbers when they calculate. The YouTubers will probably calculate again and then see what my power was. But I think it will be above 7 watt per kilo probably. That's what I could see from my numbers.
minutes?
Sorry?
On 5 minutes?
I will probably be around 15 minutes because it was a full climb from bottom to top was full gas. So, but I think I cannot say the exact number, but you will probably see it tomorrow when my file will be uploaded to Training Peaks and Strava. They will probably be able to calculate. But I think, yeah, in a race there are no secrets. I mean, on training it's always a bit tricky to show the numbers, but in a race it's just full gas. So then I don't have a problem to share the numbers. So yeah, I will not be hiding away from it.
The legs are very good, but how is the head, the mental front now? Because less than 3 weeks before the Vuelta, you go to Spain now, alone with family to get some mental rest.
No, like for sure the next 2-3 days I will take it easy again because it was quite a big effort. I mean, power-wise and also with the heat, the heart rate was quite high. So I will go with one soigneur of the team, which I should thank the team for, that they give me somebody to come with me because I will train in Spain in 35-40 degrees, so he will have fresh bottles with him for me. So it will be a 2-week training camp at 12 days, and then I will have a few days at home, which will be really relaxed. So I hope if the weather is good, we can do a nice barbecue or something like this. I will do again some trainings behind the scooter, like I did before this race, and then it will be probably 4 or 5 weeks away from home. If I can go to the Worlds as well. So yeah, I think it will be a very long period to end the season with, but I think it's all worth it. Like me, the training and the team, my family, we are really working hard for some beautiful goals. So it's all worth it, and it's only 2 more months.
Last question. Nu ben ik hem kwijt. Allee, Bram, dat is niet mogelijk.
Denk er even over na.
Ja, het gaat er komen.
Remco, can you take us to that final kilometer where you were sure that you were winning and you were really cheering up the Basque crowd? I mean, how's your relationship with the Basque crowd? And you already told yesterday that you love to race in this area.
Yeah, I think since 2019, my relationship with the Basque people and the Basque fans got stronger. Also, I've done Basque Country in April, and also there I did a good race, and everybody was cheering for me. And I missed the podium with only 2 seconds, so it was a bit a pity in the end. But they always kept supporting me. They always, when I dropped on the last climb, they kept pushing me by cheering me up. And again today on the second last and on the last climb, they were amazing, even with fireworks and all the people around and so many cheerings. It was, I mean, you know you have pain in the legs, but if you have people like this, you don't have pain in the legs anymore.
2 races that have finished in San Sebastian and 2 wins. You know where the second stage of the Tour de France is finishing next year.
Sorry?
The second stage of the Tour de France next year finish here.
Ah.
San Sebastian, yes.
I didn't know.
You have.
But if I have to listen to Patrick, I will not participate in the tour, but maybe I can change his mind.
And also in the last 16 years, only twice the winner of the Classica hasn't ride the Tour. You are the twice. What is like an advantage or disadvantage to ride the Tour?
I don't know. But I mean, if you look at the hours I did in Livigno, it's a bit the same as a Grand Tour. Also 2 weeks with a lot of training hours, a lot of climbing. So maybe it's a bit of the same preparation, not exactly the same. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to answer this question. If you look at Tish Benoot, he did the Tour, he's on the podium. I think it was the same 3 years ago when Greg van Avermaet was on the podium. He also did the Tour. Sivakov didn't do the Tour. So, I mean, it's an advantage, but sometimes it's also not an advantage. I mean, it depends on how you ride the Tour. Like, for example, Tadej did 3 weeks full gas to fight for his GC. I think then you were quite tired to arrive here, also with some criteriums, and you have like this off-period feeling after the tour. But then, for example, Tish, he worked, but he also had some days off, or he could do some climbs more easy. Then I think you can have an advantage to race here. But it just depends on how you recover from the tour, I think.
Again, my question back. Like in Belgium now, people are going crazy about you and about the Vuelta. They will dream about the victory and so on. But can you compare this period before the Vuelta with the period before the Giro last year? For you, how do you feel? What's the difference for you?
I think we cannot compare it at all. My weight by then was not natural. Everything I tried to fill up my body with didn't get into my body. It was like that my body didn't accept the carbs that I put in before a race or before an effort. So I was always around 60, 61 kilos, but that weight is not made for me. And now I think I'm on the perfect weight, around 63 kilos. That's light, and with my power, the power doesn't go down. So I think we cannot compare the two preparations at all. So and also to go into the Vuelta with a big victory here is for the head it's amazing. I think it's the best scenario I could wish for. Now I hope to stay healthy, stay out of troubles on training camps, have a good preparation and some relaxed period after the hard training camp I will have. And then I think the team will also be ready. Everybody has been on altitude. Everybody's going to race now in Burgos or Tour de l'Ain. So I think the team will be ready. We have a kind of a strategy, a plan, and we will go to the Vuelta without sprinter. So that means that we really go for the climbing stages and try to do a good GC. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But it's all about the plan that we have for the next couple of years. And I think it's the first big test this Vuelta.
See.